Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. My name is That. This is the fourth time I've tried to record this video. It's never been quite right. The first one I did was incomplete, so I was going to go back to it. The second one I accidentally deleted. Third one I did this afternoon was a bit blah, blah. So I've decided to redo it now, make it a little bit shorter. I want to talk about a new book that's come out. It was originally going to be an unboxing, but now it's not. Now it's just a sort of a, not exactly a review, because unfortunately I haven't read as much of it as I'd hoped to be able to this week. I've read a couple of stories and flicked through it, got the general feel for it, but I haven't been able to read a lot of it yet, which is a shame, because I will read the whole thing. It's just a question of time at the moment. I'm talking about the Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1997, which came out a couple of weeks ago now. Available by print on demand from Lulu, published by Terraquias Distributors, which, as Doctor Who fans will know, is a play on World Distributors, who produced the official BBC Doctor Who annuals from 64 till about 1986. Terraquias came about a few years ago because Mark Morgan, a Doctor Who fan, had realised that there was a gap in those Doctor Who annuals. The 1972 annual didn't exist for various reasons, and he set about putting together the Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1972 to plug that frustrating gap in Doctor Who fans' collections. Beautiful book. Here's a picture of the cover. It's aces. Out of print now, but I think it's going to be republished quite soon, to keep an eye on. Well, I'll let you know when it's being republished. So Terraquias then published that book. I was fortunate enough to have a story published in it. They went on to do Sylvester McCoy Annual 1988. I was fortunate enough to have a story in that, which quite surprised me, really, because I wasn't a huge fan of the Sylvester McCoy era, but I found the character and his companion is quite pleasant to write for. It was quite nice to write for those characters. And now they've also done books like the Master Annual, the Unofficial Master Annual. They've also, there's a 1987 annual, which is a Colin Baker. So they've done quite a number of these annuals, but this is the latest, which has just come out. A couple of years in the making. I've got a story in this one, and I wrote it about 2 years ago, and I haven't read it since I wrote it, really, since I submitted it. So it's quite nice to go back and revisit it in this publication, which has just come out. Anyway, it celebrates the very short reign of the 8th Doctor on TV, Paul McGann, who appeared in one feature film in I think it was the Springbank Holiday in the UK. Very successful in the UK, but because of complicated rights issues, the co-production deal meant the BBC weren't able to press ahead with any more episodes, even though it did well in the UK. There were issues why it didn't do well in America. And Doctor Who laid fallow for a few years until it was resurrected in the early 2000s. But McGann has always been very popular with fans. He's popped up here and there, as you know, ever since. He's done lots of these Big Finish audios, and he's been twice on TV, Night of the Doctor, the anniversary mini episode, and most recently a little cameo in The Power of the Doctor, the excellent Jodie Whittaker finale. There's a review of that further back, incidentally, if you want to have a little look. But now he has celebrated a very special incarnation of that character, because shortly after the TV movie was aired, BBC realised that science fiction was a big thing again. You had The X-Files was quite popular, Doctor Who appeared to be resurrecting itself. So they launched a new science fiction page in the Radio Times. They commissioned a comic strip, a very short comic strip, a few panels every week. This was created and written by Gary Russell, long-time Doctor Who fan, who has since worked on the series in his capacity as a script editor. It was drawn by the excellent Lee Sullivan, and it ran for about a year until I think the BBC realised that the show wasn't going to be coming back, so it was quietly axed. But it ran for a number of sort of serialised adventures over a year, and I remember reading those comic strips at the time, but I'd forgotten them. But when I heard that this book was coming out, I was given the opportunity to write a story for it. I was very kindly sent the comic strips to remind me of the Doctor's companions, who here, incidentally, are Stacey Townsend and Sorg. This Sorg, the Ice Warrior. I've written the character and I can't remember his name. Yes. Sard. Well, sorry. Sard, the tame Ice Warrior, who's Doctor's companion in this. And I wasn't very familiar with them, so I read the strips, and that gave me an essence of, broadly speaking, the relationship that existed. Anyway, that was 2 years ago. These books take a while to put together because they are beautiful. They're not just thrown together. They are works of art created by genuine fans who all work for free. Nobody who works on this gets paid. All the profits go to the Refuge charity, which is superb. And they're absolute labours of love. They're expensive books. They're print on demand, so they're not the price that you'd find if they're in the bookshops. You can get discount codes available. If you look online, you'll find discount codes to knock a few quid off. But that's not the point. The point is you're getting these rather delicious collector's items. This is a magnificent little book again. I will quickly flick through it to show you some of the highlights. On the cover, we have the Doctor and his companions in profile, and then a shot of them on an alien planet. This is put together by Mark Morgan himself. Really nice picture. On the back, we have an image by Pete Wallbank, again, of the lead characters. And what really impressed me on opening the book is this 2-page frontispiece spread, which is, fans of the Doctor Who annuals, the collectors of the annuals, will remember this as the image in the first Doctor Who annual, where of course you had William Hartnell as the Doctor with the TARDIS standing at a cute little angle on this alien planet. And this is very much an update of that image. It's a terrific, evocative image. It's really nice. And it just harkens back to the early days of the Doctor Who annuals. It's absolutely beautiful piece of artwork. Really, just stunningly put together. It really is beautiful. Yeah, it's great. The inside of the magazine, then, the inside of the book has got, first of all, a foreword from Gary Russell himself about the strips. It's odd, even though these are unofficial annuals, they do seem to receive the approval of a lot of people who were involved at the time. The actors, I know some of the actors have seen the previous ones and really liked them. Some of the actors have actually contributed to them and written features in the past. You've got then the first, well, I'll show you the contents page. There's a contents page to show you that there's so much in these books. You've got, these are all the stories, and these are all the features. And these are features that are all connected to Doctor Who. It's not like the old Doctor Who annuals used to have these vague scientific page fillers. What's the surface of the moon really like? That sort of thing. These are actual things connected with Doctor Who, which is even more interesting. So you've got a number of stories. The ones that I've read are the first two. There's one called Infestation, which is by Philip Herbert. This sees the arrival in these books of creatures called the Cybes. These are a copyright-avoiding riff on the Cybermen, although they are willfully connected to the Cybermen. This is an offshoot of the Cybermen who have an aesthetic sensibility, which of course the Cybermen don't. It's quite a nice idea because they believe in beauty and looking attractive and things. Then they try to make themselves look not like man machines. And on this particular story, they have, as the title suggests, infested a space vehicle that the Doctor's landed on. Really nice little story, nicely characterised. Again, then you've got a lovely piece of art like that. Second story, which I've read, is called Manhattan Transference. That is by Paul Burns. And again, it's a really nice little story where the Doctor and his companions end up in New York and get involved with a new girl band who are being manipulated by a familiar old enemy of the Doctor's. I will say no more. Those are the only two I've read at the moment. The particular highlight of this really is these wonderful pieces of art which dot the stories. There's a nice one there in a story where Paul McGann is looking at an image of his older self. I'm not sure what that's about because I haven't read that story yet. It's just really nice art which people have spent time putting together. And there's this one here called A Night at the Opera, which is quite cheeky because it's got images of, it's called A Night at the Opera, of course. Fans of Queen will recognise Freddie Mercury. Friends of the Marx Brothers will recognise Groucho Marx. And there's a couple of old faces of Doctor Who in the background. So it's just really nice put together pieces of art. And these excellent, what looks like an excellent run of stories and strips. A piece of shameless self-promotion. There's my story called The Sands of Haag with the artwork. It's really nice artwork. I'm very pleased with it. The artwork is by Veronika Kunkova. And it's really nice because it's sort of almost like a comic strip caricature sort of thing. Really captures the spirit of what I was sort of going for with the story. As I said, I haven't read the story for about 2 years, so it was quite nice to read it again. Whether it's a good story or not is a matter for you if you read it. The most important thing to me is that you think it's quite well written. That's the sort of important thing for me as a occasional writer, that The writing's good. So anyway, that's the annual. It is excellent. I wish I could give you a more thorough review of it, but I think really all I can really say is buy the damn thing. Here's the code where to go to buy it. And if you do buy it, let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment down below. And let Terraqueous know. They're on Facebook. I think there's a Twitter thing as well. So find them there and let them know what you think of these books. There are more. I know there's some more titles in preparation or in consideration. But for now, I heartily recommend that one. As I said, I think the older books are coming back around again if you've missed them. And they're just well worth having. They just match those old Doctor Who annuals. They got the feel of them. And they, as I say, because they're made by fans for fans, the quality is superb. So although I haven't read a lot of it yet, couldn't recommend it more. So that's the Doctor Who Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1997 is out now. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Welcome aboard, incidentally, a few new subscribers who've joined up lately. It's quite odd. Some new subscribers, then a couple fell away, a couple fell back, and came back. So things creeping up. So if you just joined or just found this video, why not stick around? There's lots of Doctor Who content dotted in amongst film reviews, activities, physical media updates, all sorts of bits and pieces. So well worth sticking around if you're interested in this sort of stuff. Right, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, pick up the Unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1997. I'll see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.